There is a certain kind of book that does not just tell you a story. It's the kind that grabs your collar at 1:30 in the morning, pulls you through ancient churches, secret symbols, and forbidden histories. And before you realize it, the sun is rising outside your window and your coffee has gone cold 3 times. That is exactly what happened with me when I was reading the Da Vinci Code. And the strange thing is, even after you close the book, it doesn't completely leave you. Because this is not just a thriller, this is a puzzle box disguised as novel. It's a conversation between faith, art, and obsession. And somewhere in the middle of that, it asks a dangerous question. What if the stories we grew up believing were incomplete? Now, if you have been following this channel for a while, you know I have previously made a video on angels and demons. If that book felt like a sprint through science and religion, this one feels like walking through a cathedral where every painting is hiding a secret. So, grab your coffee, settle in, because tonight we are talking about the Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown. When this book was first published in 2003, it became more than just a bestseller. It became a global phenomenon. Bookstores could not keep it on shelves. People argued about it at dinner tables. Readers became amateur historians overnight. And suddenly, millions of people who had never cared about the Renaissance art were staring suspiciously at paintings by the Leonardo da Vinci, trying to decode the hidden meanings. Honestly, that's the genius of Mr. Dan Brown. His writing has this cinematic momentum. Short chapters, constant revelations, cliffhangers every few pages. Reading him feels less like sitting with a book and more like being dragged through a locked museum after midnight while alarms are going off somewhere in the distance. But underneath the thriller mechanics, Dan Brown taps into something very human. It's our fascination with the hidden truths, secret societies, ancient symbols, the ideas that there are forgotten histories sitting right in front of us. We are naturally drawn to mysteries that feels almost possible. That's why this book worked so amazingly. It wasn't that every reader believed in theories. It's that the book constantly whispers, what if? And once that question enters your mind, the pages turn themselves. The story begins with a murder inside the Louvre Museum in Paris. The victim leaves behind cryptic clues, strange symbols, and coded messages, almost as if he wanted to leave one final trail before he died. That trail pulls in Robert Langdon, a Harvard professor of symbolism. And from that point on, the book barely slows down. Along with cryptologist Sophie Noon, Langdon uncovers clues hidden in architecture, ancient myths, and coded text. The beauty of the book is that every answer creates two more questions. The story moves through hidden walls and secret chambers. And everywhere you look, there is this atmosphere of invisible history sitting beneath the surface of our modern world. This book plays with the idea that symbols are never accidental. A painting may not just be a painting. Church may not just be a church. It suggests that sometimes people protect secrets not just because they are true, but because the truth changes the power. By the way, have you ever stood in front of a famous landmark or a painting and felt like you were missing the real story? That's the feeling Mr. Dan Brown narrates so amazingly in this book. I think the biggest reason this book became unstoppable is the pacing. Dan Brown writes like a drummer in a war march. Everything moves. You tell yourself you will read one more chapter, and suddenly you are 40 pages ahead, wondering how you got there. But beyond this speed, there is this atmosphere. Rain soaked Paris street, ancient cathedrals, candlelit chambers. It feels scholarly and dangerous at the same time, like academia accidentally wandered into a conspiracy thriller and decided to stay. On a deeper level, what stayed with me was not the controversy. It was the realization that stories shape civilizations, sometimes even more than the facts itself. We survive through narratives, and books like this challenges our certainty, not necessarily to destroy our belief, but to examine it. Let me ask you this. How much of a history is a preserved truth and how much has been edited by time, politics. Even if you disagree with the book's theories, it succeeds in making you think. And to me, that is the highest value in literature. So, should you read the Da Vinci Code? If you enjoy the fast-paced thrillers, symbolic puzzles, and stories that make your brain feel like it's running through candlelit corridors at midnight, then absolutely yes. I'm Nikhil, and if you enjoyed this deep dive, please do consider subscribing and sharing this video with a fellow reader. It really helps the channel grow. I will meet you again soon with another book, another quiet conversation, and another cup of coffee. Until then, take care of yourself and keep turning the page. I thank you very much.